Etabu, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Haru Nefer. This is Qesankh Keperu with another exciting video for you. And in this video, I want to talk about why do we focus on Egypt, Kamit, so much. But before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. If you are interested in knowing more about my spiritual teachings, you can download a free ebook. If you go down below, you'll see 4 links, which are ebooks. Click on them, download them right away, and you can start reading them. But however, if you want to know even more, you can follow that rabbit down the rabbit hole by becoming a Patreon supporter for as little as $1, $5, or $20 per month. It's up to you, and you can cancel it anytime. You'll get exclusive access to instructional videos to help you with your spiritual training, videos on meditation, how to contact the ancestors, how to invoke a spirit for your protection, how to get spirits to help you in legal affairs. And you have also videos on self-hypnosis to help you quit any addictions like chocolate cake and things of that nature. So become a Patreon supporter today. Last but not least, share this video with family and friends so you can get the revolution started. Haru Nefer, Grand Rising. May Buddha bless you. You know, I went shopping the other day and I found out that my ferrets love Reese's peanut butter cups. And I knew they loved chocolate, but I didn't know that this was particularly something that they were fond of. Well, actually, I knew they loved chocolate and peanut butter, but I didn't know they liked it in the same order. So I bought Reese's peanut butter cup for Jazzy, and I put it deep in the bottom of the bag, and I threw the bag in my car. I started driving. So he went in the bag and starts going through it. And the next thing I know, he pulls out the Reese's peanut butter cup. And he was about to chunk down on that. I'm saying, God, Lee, you went through everything. And there was some other stuff in there too, because I know that I've given them like Snickers bars. He bypassed the Snickers bar, and I went right for that Reese's peanut butter cup. So I said, I'm gonna test this. So when my other ferret was asleep, his name is Razzie, I was tapping him, and I saw his head peek up. His eyes were like ready to close, and he was like, who's bothering me? So I put the peanut butter cup near his nose so he can get a whiff of it. And I'm telling you, it was like I was a snake charmer. He was following that peanut butter cup everywhere it went. And it was almost like he was shaking like he needed a fix. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I was just laughing about that addiction, you know. So let's talk about addiction, you know. Someone made a comment, and it was not a comment, it had a question. Why do we focus on Egypt so much? And it's a really good question. And to that I say, why not? I even asked one of my teachers, Dr. Ben Jamakanen, when he was alive, why do we focus on Egypt a lot? And his thing was because it was the zenith of civilization, which is true. But the other thing that I think it's important to note is Kemet, we have basically the entire religion of ancient Kemet at our disposal. We have the ancient texts, we have the rituals that they used, even down to like some of the magical formulas. Whereas with other religions, it's not so complete. You know, sure, we have Yoruba, Voodoo. Now, let me tell you the difference, right? There is another YouTuber who teaches about the occult, and he's always like prescribing books on the occult that you can read. Really good books too. But if you note something about him is that, and I've had conversations with him, and especially his attitude toward me. He's a very petty person, and he's unprofessional. You see, when you start dealing with Wiccan religion, these voodoo, or Santeria, they don't inherently have a system in place to teach spiritual cultivation. Yes, it's about doing good, doing right, but there's nothing in that system that brings you to a high level of spirituality. This is why the religion of ancient Egypt, Kemet, has the deity of Osir, because that is the deity that we should be striving to become. This is why they have the story of Osir and Aset. And sure, Yoruba has stories too of the Ogun and all that, but you must understand that ancient Egypt, they were addicted to morality. They were addicted to spiritual elevation, so much so that their whole lives were predicated upon reaching the level of God state, becoming God on earth. And it is the basis, it is the basis of Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and Catholicism. This one religion, the religion of Sarset, spawned all of those religions. And Christianity is if you go into Africa and you research like the Coptic Church, that's the oldest form of Christianity there. Yet it's not widely known. It's not widely practiced or even talked about. Yet Westerners, including Black people or ADOS, have an addiction to something that white people are involved in. You see, because white people have elevated Christianity to such a height and such a level, in some sense, it has legitimized it in the eyes of people of color. So we become addicted to it. We want it. We worship it more than they do sometimes and become better Christians than them, because we didn't so-called discover a new world and enslave the native inhabitants. But what I'm trying to tell you is that this religion of ancient Kemet has not reached its full development, in the sense that largely it's being ignored by people of color or Black people. It is, except for a certain niche, it's being ignored, where it should be the de facto, the dominant religion that's practiced, because it is so on point. And again, all the Western religions plagiarized the religion of Kemet Asar Set. And instead of us gravitating toward this, practicing it and calling it our own, we actually slander it by calling those who practice it the Hotepers. And granted, there are those who've used it for their own financial gain, but look what Christianity has spawned. Do you understand what I'm saying? Where we should be addicted, or should I say 100% on board and proselytizing the religion of ancient Kemet, it's on the peripheral. We're just ignoring it. But yet when a movie comes out about the ancient Egyptian looking white, we cry foul, and we say that's cultural appropriation. So in other words, we don't care about it until white people tend to legitimize it. Until white people start to really co-opt it and utilize it, then we're jealous and envious because we want to be just like them. So then we take to it. And I am fully in the mindset of, if white people were to suddenly migrate from Christianity to the ancient religion of Asara Set, so would Black people. We would drop Christianity like that. Because as Dr. Frances Cress Welsing in her book, The ISIS Papers, said that a large majority of what we do because we want to be like them. Because I'm going to tell you one basic thing that we need to get a hold of and understand, and this is important. So really focus on what I'm saying. African people walked around nude. The people of Egypt and Kemet walked around nude. And there was no sexual misconduct. There was no looking at the female or male body in a sexually perverted way. It was because we were inculcated or we were indoctrinated into a spiritual way of life where we didn't see the human body as sexual like that. But when you research the history of Christianity, they have always seen the body as a sexual object. So much so that even many religions have gone as far as to cover women from head to toe, so no other man could look at them. If you're covering your woman in head to toe, so she can't even be, only can be seen of her as her eyes, that's a problem your men have. That's not the problem the women have. Your men have no discipline and self-control. So when the historian Herodotus said that when he went to Egypt, he saw the children playing naked. He saw the adults walking around naked. And there were no crimes. That's heaven on earth. That's Eden. How can you look at that and then call that religion pagan or evil or wrong when Christians teach the exact opposite? That your body, the naked body, is sinful. And you must be careful of lustful thoughts. That's a problem within the religion itself. Yet we want to practice that when we had it right all along. We had a way of life where one could walk naked. Women could walk naked without fear of being accosted. So if we had it right, why are we studying from someone else? Why are we gravitating toward their sick and perverted way of looking at things, so much so that they have written that in their own religious texts? Think about that. They profess to know right from wrong. And they know when they watch those National Geographic films, they see the women walking around naked and the men are not like lustfully looking at them with panting with their tongues hanging out. That's only a Western thing. It even goes deeper than that. When you have the Ten Commandments saying, honor thy mother and thy father. Well, Africa venerated the ancestors. We didn't need a law for that. In fact, we saw God as the great ancestor. So we did not put our elderly in homes or lock them away. We made them part of a council of elders, where they would dispense advice. And they would legitimize certain things like marriages. They would make decisions that would be best for the clan, the tribe, the nation. But you see, we follow in these white people's footsteps thinking they got something right when they don't. It's like you're following his footsteps and you don't even know where it's going, and it's going off a cliff. That's the fool card in the Rider-Waite Tarot. You're not looking. You're not paying attention to what's going on. You're a fool because you're following a people and you're following the religious doctrines that they plagiarize from you, but were so sick and perverted themselves that they couldn't even control their own sexual desires. That they looked at the body as naked and sinful. The Christian Puritans used to beat themselves whenever they had a lustful thought. This is how bad it was. They would literally beat themselves, lock themselves away, and would administer lashes every time they had a lustful thought. No, you just need to practice mineb. You don't need to be beating yourself. So this is why we focus on Egypt so much, because we have an intact religion that was on the right track. But you're asking the wrong question. The question should be, why aren't others focusing on Egypt? That's the real question. Because we had it all right in the beginning. And where things went wrong was when those colonizers came in and started dictating to us concepts such as Jesus, God. We already knew these things. We already had a relationship with God. We call it netta. We didn't need them to tell us. And them telling us we're sinful. We weren't sinful. They were sinful. They were the ones going from continent to continent, murdering, pillaging, raping. I'm ashamed of many of you, to be honest with you, because you've been given the golden goose that lays, or the goose that lays the golden egg, and you treat it so lightly. When I first discovered the Metuneta, I knew there was nothing stopping me from studying this, going to New York to study with the high priest. There was nothing that was going to stop me from doing that. And I accomplished that. I accomplished it so much that he let me into his home and meet his family. He would play the piano for me. We would talk about movie scripts together. There was nothing that was going to prevent me from learning this ancient religion. And many, when I got involved, many from the UK started coming over to study as well. And I admired them for really just dropping everything to come over. So what is our excuse, my brothers and sisters, for not taking this serious? What is our excuse? I practice this every day. I research this every day. This is the way of life for me. It's not a religious way of life. It's a spiritual way of life, where you are actively working on yourself to become God. You're not actively in those other religions working on becoming God. Their goal is to keep you coming to the congregation and keep you tithing. They don't want you to become just as knowledgeable as the pet pastor, because then you wouldn't need to come anymore. They want to make you forever a student, but never a teacher. That's their goal. Because they're concerned about money, monetary gain. They're not concerned about your spiritual elevation or saving your soul. They're all full of it. They all are full of it. And let me tell you this, and people know, you know, the wandering sage, that the Black community needs to file lawsuits against the Black church for failing us. The Black church has failed Black people miserably. It's astounding the level of incompetence and failure. And those ministers need to be held accountable for it, as well as the megachurch ministers. They need to go to jail. Creflo Dollar, TD Jakes, especially TD Jakes. The Price ministry, and Frederick Casey Price is no longer with us, but he was, oh my God. To me, well, he was crooked as they come. Joel Osteen, another one. And the things that go on behind the scenes that these ministers are doing, they know the truth. They know it's all BS what they're teaching. They know that, because when you get to a certain level, you become privy to things, just like those in Scientologists. When they become so-called clear, they're introduced to the whole alien religion aspect to it. Yeah, that's right. When you get to a certain level, they will reveal to you that the basis of the religion is about these aliens coming to Earth and being thrown into volcanoes. And when they revealed it to Tom Cruise was like, "What is this shit? What is this?" He was taken aback, you know? Don't be fooled by Joel Osteen's smile and his calm and passive and so-called heavenly demeanor. You know, Second Nefertari, I was about to say that the most powerful thing that we have is that tree of life, because that is the guide map to becoming God on earth. That is the guide map to awakening your power. These other religions don't have that except Kabbalah. But you see, a lot of you have a herd mentality. If the herd is not going along with it, you are not an individual or individual enough to take up the mantle. You're not an early adopter. You're not even an adopter. You just go with the masses. It's easier for you. These men are evil. I'm not talking about they started out good and got corrupted. No, they are evil. And if you don't believe me, do your oracle readings on them. Don't listen to them. Don't follow them. Don't give them money. They are simpletons, meaning they don't know a lot. They don't read. They don't research. All they know how to do is give a good speech to get your money. Yeah, that's right. Most people are sahu. They give in to their emotion. How do you think, what's his name, Umar Johnson got all that money? over $2 million to start a school for boys. No one stopped to think, well, if you're going to build that school, there's going to be operating expenses, insurance, 401k plans for the teachers, janitors, groundskeeper. So if you're going to use the $2 million just to build a school, what is the operating expenses every year? It has to be at least $4 or $5 million. You can't run a school that has operating expenses every year, $4 or $5 million, just by asking people to donate to a Cash App. Are you dumb? But we are, because Umar knows how to say some things that you think are deep. He's like Minister Farrakhan. Notice the two. I want you to look at Minister Farrakhan, and I want you to look at Umar Johnson. What do they both do after there is some big news that pertains to Black people in the media? They come out and comment on it. And they do that so they can stay relevant and seem like they're doing something for their people. Farrakhan has not freed anybody. Farrakhan has not implemented any legislation. Farrakhan has not created programs that we're benefiting off now. He's done zero, zip. He's done zero, zip. Let me say it again. He is not a revolutionary. He is controlled opposition, meaning he's used to distract you. He's just a distraction. All right, now, children. And that's what Umar does. Always talking about something when there's a thing going on in the media. But no one questions this. What have you built? What have you accomplished for the Black community? Nothing. At least Jim Jones had a village. Was it Ghana, over in that island or wherever? At least he had something tangible. Yeah, it didn't go right with the Kool-Aid and everything, but these men don't have nothing. Show me where Farrakhan has created carved out a section of the United States just for Black people. Nope, hasn't happened. Show me where he's feeding underprivileged kids. Nope, there is nothing. He's based in Chicago, one of the highest. It's the murder capital rate. It's the highest murder capital rate in the United States. Why? Don't you have the FOI? Aren't they supposed to be out there helping to stop the Black on Black crime? But you elevate this man because he'll give a good speech after something happens in the media. But you don't ask the question. Listen, man, you've been in leading the NOI for years, decades, and we ain't seen nothing tangible. If you were head of the CEO, they would ask you to step down. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Be your own peace. Thank you. Yeah. That's where Jim Jones is. What should we call that? Jim Jones's camp was at. I don't know what you want to call it. Umar has nothing. Those buildings, those are condemned. There can never be a school there. The city's already said it, that those schools should be torn down. They're in a high crime rate neighborhood. He will never get any type of license from the Board of Education. Never. There's no cafeteria in the school. How are you going to feed the kids with no cafeteria? School's falling apart. But it's just his little ruse to get your money. Brothers and sisters, this thing runs deep. Let me explain something to you. This thing runs deep. You see, these grifters are well connected. Umar goes on the Breakfast Club. Breakfast Club knows he's full of it, knows he's a con man, allegedly. You have mainstream individuals who are supporting the destruction of the Black community. And you would be surprised if I start mentioning their names. You would be surprised. You'd be like, no, him, her? No. Yes, it runs deep. This is why I often say we're our own worst enemy, that we often support our own downfall. Look at BLM. That is not, BLM is not an anomaly. It is actually common. What is the difference between BLM and the Nation of Islam? Tell me. Where did the money that Gaddafi gave Farrakhan go? Where did the money collected from the 2 million man marches go? There was never an accounting. And then when you question the FOI, they threaten to kill you or they threaten to beat you up, but yet they never threaten the white man. They never get ready to go out there and attack the white man. You see, they rather, they'll attack you and threaten you, but not the white man. Never. And y'all comment on people that all right, you be continually commenting on people we know are con artists, you know? It's like, okay, we know Jesse Jackson has not done anything to help us. So leave that alone. Leave that situation alone. He's not making any new more rainbow coalition organizations. All right, leave it alone. We know the NAACP ain't doing nothing. All right, we know that. But let's talk about the residuals, the ones that are still the organization people that are still out there that you're still supporting that have not done anything. What has T.D. Jakes done but make movies and write books that put down Black men? What has Creflo Dollar done but try to get more money so he can buy him a private jet? What have these people done? They've done nothing. And you wonder why we are in the situation we're in now. What has your president done? Biden has given money to the LGBTQ and not one dime to the Black community. Not one dime. He has set aside special privileges for them, given them certain laws and advantages. But the one thing that Black people ask for, well, actually two things. He has turned his back on us. Number one is reparation, and number two is police reform. But you voted him in. You put him in office. You're the ones that did that. Because you have the herd mentality. See, the media told you Trump was bad, even though Trump was willing to give billions of dollars to the Black community if he was reelected. He was going to put that on paper. He says, I'm going to put that on paper. I'm going to give the black community billions of dollars. But you said he's evil. He should be in jail. What are you talking about? Who authored the crime bill? Biden. Who authored the crime bill that was 3 strikes and you're out, locking black men up, creating the prison industrial complex, breaking families up, taking the father out of the house? Biden. Trump has not created any bills that detrimentally affect black people. Not one. Biden and Kamala has. Kamala, as a prosecutor, built a whole career of locking black men up. But you go, sister girl. You go, sister girl. The two of them are as evil and corrupt as it gets. I'm not saying Trump is better, because they're both politicians, and you can never believe anything that they say. Trump is an egotistical man who only thinks about himself. But he is a businessman, and he doesn't know how to do business. Because when he was in office, you noticed you weren't paying high gas prices. There wasn't inflation, But here, I'm not here to preach because, when people ask me, well, who did you vote for? I say, I don't vote. I'm not stupid enough to vote. I know the game. Oh, thank you, Secretary Nefer Tara, for the $25 donation. That's cool. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
So please, if you get an opportunity, donate to the channel. Follow in the footsteps of Secretary Nefer Tara, who believes in the mission, who believes in Kamit. So that's one donation. Do I hear another one? Come on, let's get that cash machine going. All right. Support what is yours. Support what is yours. Stop tithing to Christian churches and spend money to people who are really trying to do some good. You know what I mean? I see people go to these channels, Umar collecting all this money, using it on drugs, cocaine. Hookers came to Vegas and used it on hookers, allegedly. But channels like mine, people are like, oh, I don't want to donate. I don't want to donate. What's that woman's name? I forgot her name. Who scammed all those people, claimed to be spiritual. Zaza Ali. Y'all giving her all this money and she don't scam people and was on the news too. What she did was so bad, they had to put her on the news. They were like out in news broadcasters outing her. But yet y'all still gave her money. And y'all still giving her money. And you're still supporting her channel. And I bring the word of God to you in the form of the oracle so you can find out who's right and wrong. And everybody still, I don't know if I should donate. I don't want to donate. Y'all know, every channel I go to, like if you get in the morning, go to the Roger Report. I'm on the Roger Report every morning on a panel. And even though I'm on the panel, I donate to the channel. I go on Dr. Tia San's panel, I donate to Dr. Tia San Johnson. Okay. But you guys are so stingy, and I'm using this because you don't even know how to use magic. Because part of magic is giving seeking nothing in return, and then the deities bless you. I told you, every day I get ones, and I go out there and I see young brothers on the street trying to sell candy or wipe your windshield. I just give them the money. I don't want them to wipe my windshield or anything. I just give them the money. So here's a dollar. But you guys can't even support this channel. Take a moment now. If you have a question or anything to say, a marriage proposal, come on up the channel. I'll hear your proposal. I'm putting the link in the chat box. Give you an opportunity to come up. If you have a question, anything, please come on up. And if you want to compliment me on how pretty I look, hey, cool. I'm okay with that. Let me know. I can tell this story. I'm going to tell it before I end this. I keep getting hit on by gay guys because I'm so scrumptious. I'm really scrumptious. I was at the, I tell you, I went to New York to give a presentation and they had a party, right? So I attend the party and I love to socialize. I'm a social butterfly. So I go up to this guy. I don't even know him. I just said, look, your suit, I like your suit. His suit look nice, Brothers know how to dress. I'll give you that. Brothers know how to dress. So he pats me on the back and he was like, we start talking about how much he paid for it, where he got it, custom and all that. And then his hands start going down lower and lower. And then he starts moving around. And I'm like thinking, as I'm talking to him, I'm like, is this guy feeling me up, man? I was like, yeah, he's feeling me up. I said, he must be drunk or something, but I just kind of moved away. I was like, what's this guy doing? Oh my goodness, I'm being felt up. Oh, we got another one. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Be your own peace. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Always appreciate it. Keep it coming. Anybody have any question? The link, I put the link up so you can come on live. You can hide your face if you want, or you can not hide your face, but opportunity. So let me know. Otherwise, I'll close out for today. And I'm looking forward to 2023. Make sure you get your oracle readings done for 2023. I did my reading and it was very interesting. I was like, oh, this is something else. I was like, I'm not going to tell you because it's personal, but it was very interesting. So get your readings done because, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. You know what I mean? So you know what you're dealing with coming up with the new year, So, and I've seen the consistency among some of the readings, which makes me think that there's going to be some type of a sweeping change in America, not for good or for bad, but just new changes. Because when everybody starts to get consistently the same reading, then it's not an individual thing, that something is happening. Like when I did the readings for everybody and it was coming up to the lockdown, I got readings like for people where you got things like the hermit, and which is a symbol of a person by themselves. And so I knew something was going on. So it was interesting, all right, cool. I will respond to you on Patreon, brother. No worries. All right. So thank you all for tuning in to this broadcast. And remember, look, no one can ever take the Kemetic spiritual way of life from you. It is yours. It is a complete religion. It has everything you knew. I said new, and that's a Kemetic term. It has everything you need to awaken spiritual powers within you, to manifest the things that you want in life. That you want in life. And once you perfect it, you're going to see phenomenal things happen in your life. I'm still impressed and awed by the things that go on in my life. I had to text, where's my phone? I had to text two good friends and say, there's some weird stuff going on. Has this ever happened to you guys? Because this is happening to me, you know, and I'm like, what's happening? But it's magic. I know it's magic, you know, and ask and you shall receive, right? So I want to thank you. This is Qesankh Keperu, son of my aunt and Tahuti. My aunt is the beautiful goddess Heteru. Until the next video, Amun Ra.